Hi, I'm Tanya Lewis. I am the terrestrial wildlife biologist at Glacier Bay National Park, and one of the super exciting projects that I'm working on is a mountain goat genetic study. And the purpose of the study is to look at our different populations of mountain goats around the park and how they are related to each other, and whether our goats moving between populations or some populations are isolated. Small isolated populations of any species are vulnerable to extinction, especially for mountain goats with things like climate change that might decrease their habitat. So I want to take you on a little trip with me that I just took up Glacier Bay. I got back yesterday. It was super exciting, 3-day trip collecting mountain goat genetic material in the form of scat. So we departed Bartlett Cove on April 27th. Still very snowy in Glacier Bay. The shoreline, there's snow to the waterline in a lot of places, and cool, rainy, but beautiful to get up bay. Our first stop was South Marble Island to look at sea lions and see if the birds had started nesting, and tons of sea lions, but almost no birds on any of the island. It was amazing. No gulls, no kittiwakes. It was empty. So then we continued to Mount Wright. Looked for low goats, goats that are low and accessible, where we could get off and try to find their pellets, their scat, and swab them for DNA samples. We found lots of goats, and some were low enough where we were able to jump off, and we did collect some samples on the way up. We saw a brown bear crossing an avalanche chute, a really big healthy brown bear. It was beautiful. And then we lucked out and found a group of 8 goats right on the waterline in some vegetation. And I don't like to scare the goats off. I try not to disturb them, but sometimes just the boat being on the water below them, they'll move up a little, and in this case they moved around the corner and out of sight, and so we were able to get off and sample that area and got lots of samples. And we found a rock that was absolutely covered in pellets. I've never seen anything like it. Like, those 8 goats probably spent half the winter there eating and pooping. It was beautiful. It was a sampler's dream. And after that we got dropped off at our camping site where it rained all night. And the next day we strapped on our snowshoes and climbed up the mountain to where there were 4 goats who were feeding not too high and an accessible area where it was safe for us to get to. Okay, now we are just below the goats. I don't know if you can see them on the skyline. There's 2 in between the biggest cottonwood and then the snow patch on the right. Right at the top, sentinels are watching us. So we're gonna hang here for a little bit and just slowly get closer and hopefully find a place they were bedded down recently. We waited for them to move off, and as they did, we went up to where they had been bedded down and found, again, just loads and loads of pellets. And we're able to come back with about 25 samples, and came back down, and it rained again all night. All right, here's all the samples we collected in the last 2 days, most of them yesterday. Successful trip. Thanks, mountain goats. We got picked up on the 3rd day and came back down the bay. And one of the coolest things, when we came back down, we stopped at South Marble again, and guess what? The birds were there, and not just one species. There was glaucous-winged gulls, black-legged kittiwakes. We saw some puffins, cormorants nesting. It's like someone turned on the sign that said South Marble's open for business. It was really cool. Then we came back and had a hot shower and put away our field gear. It was a great trip. The first trip of the year is always so exciting for me, and I hope you enjoy these photos and enjoy tagging along on this super exciting research trip. Okay, putting our snowshoes on and going up this hill, and there's a goat right up there. That first cliff face you can see straight above me on the right side. And so hopefully we've got enough snow to get up there. Okay, these are where those two lower goats were. It looks like Eric just found some fresh. Ooh, a nice spot though. And this is where mountain goats hang out.